Hey everybody, Douglas Scott McCarron. I want to talk about straw man and making people that you don't agree with wrong. Um, I end up watching a lot of politics, and this is on YouTube. Various people arguing about various religious persuasions or philosophical persuasions. And it's always fascinating me that no matter what side, you sort of invent this other person and assign to them all these qualities that you think are dumb and then make fun of them. In particular, I see it between atheists and religious people, and then, of course, religious people of various groups argue with each other. It's always, those atheists, they believe there is no God, but, when they die, they'll pray to God or whatever. Or those religious people, they only believe in myths, and if you put rationality to them, they just crumble. But it seems to me that none of that's true, watching them. Quite often, my impression is people impugn their assumptions about the other side that I don't agree with, and then I sit there and make fun of them and mock them and disprove them. Usually with some sort of dialectual argument. For instance, I know there's this couple of atheist groups where they'll play a tape from a Christian person who says, atheists have no morality. Which, is a pretty broad statement to say. They may not have that particular Christian's morality. That doesn't mean they have no morality. My understanding of morale, morale, means to have the attributes of. And then more is where I believe it comes from. And it's the social mores of a group. And to be moral means you have the attributes of that group's mores. And morality is then when you sit there and tell other people, you either follow it or you tell other people what to do, and that's moralizing. But to sit there and say one group doesn't have any morals at all isn't really true. For instance, if you were to take a Franciscan monastery's morals and put them up against the morals of the Hells Angels, they could both say the other one's immoral. Especially, they could haul off with, the Hells Angels could haul off with, they sit there and act like they're moral, but then they have, child abusing priests. And then, the Hells Angels, they go around selling drugs and killing people and being abusive, So it just kind of depends on which group, what their morals are. But from my point of view, you don't have any morals. And then, the atheists will come back with, oh yeah? And, offer this disproof of it. And call them stupid and foolish and ignorant and on and on. And there's a lot of I'm showing him and, this is the right thing. But I don't know, from my age of 70 that I am now, it seems to me, I'm just going to propose this as another possibility. When I was a child, I was having my dad constantly correct me, telling me what was wrong with me, and I needed to shape up and be what he thought I should be. And I had a strong case of, stop bothering me, leave me alone, what do I need to do to get you to shut up, you're wrong. I I'm right. How dare you? And when I listen to these arguments, they're being done by adults, and they assert that they're grown up, but it sounds a lot like that without the emotions. It's, well, I believe that your asserting of this opinion is inaccurate and blah, blah, as opposed to, you're trying to hurt me, blah, blah. But it seems this whole basic idea that you can present a series of beliefs and assertions and prove it with words does anything. It seems to me is kind of not real. Your perception may change. I've mentioned this before. I'll read in the news that the James Webb satellite has discovered something that changes the universe. And the universe didn't change. Our perception of it changed, but nothing actually changed. Same thing with this. I assert a bunch of different meanings and, it proves you're wrong, therefore you're an idiot and a fool and irrational and dumb and you don't know anything about my group. But I just kind of wonder, is this just kind of leftover child argument? A lot of times the Bible shows up and people go, well, it's contradictory and, this contradicts that. Oh, yeah, they're all arguing in there over what is going on here. There are some people who say it's the divine written word of God and inerrant and everything. Bible doesn't say that, except I believe it's in Timothy. There's one sentence that says it, but everybody else is just arguing. Sometimes God is this fatherly, peaceful, loves everybody. He loves the whole world. And the next time, he's this bloodthirsty, slaughtering some tribe that got in the way of Israel. I suspect it depends on Israel's history at that point. When you're this little tiny kingdom up in the hills and the Assyrians are coming, do you want a nice, peaceful, loving God who's going to love everybody, or do you want someone who's going to go kick those Assyrians' butts? That's how God occurs. Of course I have all the people who tell me there is no God, and that may be. For me, it's an experiential thing. When I was really into proving God or disproving God, it was more like I was having this emotional, intellectual argument inside my head and acting like what was going on in my head was the whole world and not just me. I was just talking to me, which I suspect is what a lot of these people on YouTube are doing. I'm sitting in a room here empty with myself. Well, not empty because I am here. But the main reason I'm sharing on a lot of this is the background to all these videos, pretty much. I used to be very mean, dark, vindictive, self-loathing, self-hating. Not a terribly pleasant person for people on the outside, and even more so for me. And then I had the experience of it all of that emotions and talking and everything just one day just stopped. It was like the energy of it just kind of turned off. And this part of me I never knew even existed just woke up. And it was very calm and peaceful. And it was more me than all that conversation. So a lot of times when I'm watching people talk, it seems like they're just sort of engaging in the very thing that keeps them from having that deeper part wake up. Is that deeper part connected to God or not? I don't know. I just know something happened. Then you have a bunch of other arguments, but Gnosticism versus monotheism versus monism. What is all this? But in the end, it seems to me that's all just more of that mentality of a kid trying to get the explanation that explains it all and will have it all make sense, instead of stepping into life. So anyway, I want to talk about this because I know there's a lot of very mean, self-loathing, dark people out there in the world. I'm judging by all the people getting shot and murdered and beating each other up. I just want to talk to them and let them know that I, who is mean, vindictive, self-loathing, semi-suicidal, on and on and on, have this change. And it is possible. You just can't find it inside that inner dialogue. That's the thing that's, it's more of the tormentor. Anyway, that's today. I'll talk to you again another time. Thank you. Bye.